And what's up, everybody? All right, let me get situated here. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know the routine. Please, if you would, do me a huge favor. It's not asking much, is it? Go ahead and type in exclamation point notify like you see it. Can we put it up on the screen here? Exclamation point notify. If you're watching on Facebook, this only works on Facebook. So please type in exclamation point notify. And what this does, it will turn on notifications for my videos on Facebook. But if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And also on YouTube, you can set it to see first. You can set it to get notifications. You have to go in and turn it on for notifications on YouTube. And also hit the share button for me on YouTube and put it on everywhere that you have a different account, different place. Same thing on Rumble. Hit the thumbs up and share this video. Share the video. Thank you so much. And same thing on Getter. I need to create one for Getter. I need to do that. Remind me to do that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to talk about, of course, this indictment that they're doing against President Trump, which is completely ridiculous what they're doing. Shouldn't be happening, but yet it is happening. And they're doing it for a reason. They're really doing this for a reason. And the reason is not because look, the reason is because they want to destroy the country, because they see President Trump returning. Never before in the history of this nation have we ever seen this. I mean, like, this is crazy. The Democrats are going after President Trump for what they've done. The Democrats have done this multiple times, over and over and over again. But yet, because it's happened so many times, by them doing it, they said, well, let's go after President Trump for doing it. What a bunch of hypocrites. But before we get into all of that, I want to share something with you about Afghanistan. It's like the anniversary, right? 13 personnel soldiers died because of Joe Biden's negligence, because he's a total buffoon. He's an idiot. Because of him, you had 13 military personnel members die because of his stupidity. And you remember when they came home on the airplane, on the tarmac, what did Joe Biden do? What did he do? They died because of him, and he's like, I got somewhere else to be. What time is it? I got somewhere else to be. Y'all remember that? This is exactly what Joe Biden did. This dude, a total tyrant, it should have never happened in the first place, but yet he did it. Let me share this first one with you. This is military personnel starting to speak up about what Joe Biden did and what they experienced in Afghanistan. Joe Biden and the Democrats, the Democrats, they've all been lying to the American people about what happened. Oh, it was great. It was planned. It went as planned. I guess if 13 military personnel soldiers, U.S. military personnel soldiers dying, is that the plan? So am I to believe that the Democrats plan for these U.S. military personnel to die? Really? Really? Listen to this.
A lot of parents that we've interviewed that have also lost children on that day said the hardest part for them is knowing this could have been prevented. Do you feel that way?
Absolutely. We've been having meetings with Foreign Affairs Chair McCall, Congressman Issa. We feel that we're starting to get some answers, but not enough. We really, honestly, are relying on the Democratic Party to step up. This certainly should never be a partisan issue, and I think that we can gain a lot of headway if we just get the support of some of these Democrats in the Foreign Affairs Committee in particular to help get to the bottom of this. I mean,
they're not going to. I'm sorry, I had to stop it real quick. They're not going to, because this is so irritating to me. Between the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, which party actually supports the military? Can y'all tell me? Leave me a comment. Which party? Just put an R or a D. Which one actually supports the U.S. military? Not the wokeness, okay? Okay, leave that out. But I'm talking about actually supporting the U.S. military and their safety. Which one, R or D?
For us, so there's nothing we can do to change what's happened. It's never going to bring our kids back, but we want to make sure that the rest of our military that's out there serving us right now is never going to be facing a situation like this again, where they could potentially be killed for no reason.
Has the Democratic Party, have those lawmakers stepped up and helped you? What about the administration? Have you heard from them?
No, the administration just keeps doubling down on their success of what they call a success. The Democratic Party, they'll give you their condolences, but then turn around and just play the blame game. Instead of actually looking at the big picture here, we're finding out little bits of information as more Marines step forward.
Yeah, more Marines are stepping forward, and they're finding out more information as we go along. More information is coming out. And I can see it right now. I'm willing to bet that you'll have the Biden regime. They probably will try to cover up as much as possible. Kind of like when the, members of the House was requesting information from the FBI to DOJ, and it just refused to hand it over. Data information that they have about Afghanistan, the pull out the way they did, I bet you they're trying to keep that under lock and key as well. How many of y'all think so? Now, I have a little bit more I want to talk about Afghanistan here, but I'm going to get to a video to where showing the Republicans are starting. It's not starting to flip. It's the same Republicans, the same RINO Republicans. But let me share this one with you on Afghanistan as well. Listen to this.
There's no ownership of responsibility. There's no leadership. But what there is still fallout. Veterans all over this amazing nation, their hearts are being torn out every single day, learning more and more and more, listening to Kirby stand up there and say, I didn't see anguish. I didn't see chaos. I didn't see agony. We saw people falling from planes. We saw women throwing babies over concertina wire. That's what we know happened. So it's so disingenuous and insulting to get up there and then insult all the men and women. 20 years at war we were in Afghanistan. 20 years. Americans went over there and fought and died, and then to go up there and to stand up there and insult all the sacrifices that were made for this country and for us to preserve our security in Afghanistan.
You hear this? Let me take it back one more time, because Kirby, he's absolutely right. Kirby went before the cameras and literally lied to the American people. And then there was a press conference not too long ago where they were asking one member about how was it successful? Can you please explain to us how was the withdrawal successful? And they can't even say. They refuse to talk about it because they know it wasn't successful. 13 military personnel dying, and they're trying to suggest that it was successful. It was not successful. They did not have to die, and it was total chaos. Look at the screen. Remember, total chaos. They were showing people falling from the airplane straight up. And that's success? Total chaos.
And died. And then to go up there and to stand up there and insult all the sacrifices that were made for this country and for us to preserve our security in Afghanistan. It's so mean. I mean, it's heartless.
There's no 100% heartless. It is 100% heartless. Okay, let me play one more real quick for you. This is one where Joe Biden says that he was right and everything was, as it should be. And he did a great job. He's patting himself on the back. But if there's going to be anything, and I talked about this on my LFA broadcast, if there's going to be anything that the Democrats go after Joe Biden because Joe Biden is looking really bad, it's going to be Afghanistan. I want y'all to listen to what they're saying about Joe Biden in this clip. Listen to what they say, because they're not going to go after Joe Biden because of Hunter Biden, all that corruption, all of the corruption that Joe Biden did when he was VP with Hunter Biden. They're not going to talk about that. Why? Because they want to protect Obama. Y'all understand what I'm saying? The media, they're going to do whatever they can to protect Obama because they're trying to protect his legacy. The Democrats, they're going to do everything they can to protect Obama and his legacy. But when it comes to Joe Biden, because Joe Biden is he's damaged goods, 100% damaged goods. I mean, all of the Democrats are damaged goods, but Joe Biden takes the cake. But they're going to go after Joe Biden for something like Afghanistan. Again, not the corruption with Hunter Biden. Reason being is because it was under Obama. They were to protect Obama. But listen to this.
Remember what I said about Afghanistan? I said Al-Qaeda would not be there. I said it wouldn't be there. I said we'd get help from the Taliban. What's happening now? What's going on? Read your press. I was right.
And now, as American diplomats rush to shred embassy documents and escape, it seems shocking that President Biden could have been So wrong.
President Biden's decision to pull the U.S. out of Afghanistan led to the collapse of its government, its military, the death of 13 Americans, and it left tens of thousands of Afghans hoping to escape. Girls over 12 can no longer be educated. It is one of the darkest moments of the Biden presidency to date.
One of the darkest moments. And this is coming from the liberal media, government, state media. Joe Biden's darkest moment. Again, this is the reason why they're talking about this. They're not going to talk about it. They're like Hunter Biden. All of that is old news. All of that is old news. So, and this is the anniversary of Afghanistan. Instead of Joe Biden taking questions about Afghanistan and his withdrawal from there, and also so he doesn't have to take any questions about this new indictment, fraudulent indictment against President Trump. What do you think Joe Biden is doing? Split screen it for me. What do you think he's doing? What do you think? What do you think Joe Biden's doing? Look at him. He's like trotting, right? He's trotting. Guess where he's headed? Guess where he's headed? He was just on vacation for 10 days. Where was he on vacation at, Shannon? 10 days at the beach, right? He was somewhere, right?
Yeah, at home.
He was at the beach, on the beach, at home, vacationing for 10 days, right? He just got back. And guess what? Now he's about to go on He's not about to go. He's already gone on vacation again. The anniversary of Afghanistan just gone. And of course, what they're doing to President Trump. He's trying to make it look like he has no part in it. Like he's out of it. Like he's out of the picture. This is what criminals do. Criminals commit the crimes, but they go someplace else and have someone else do the crime for them so they can have an alibi. Oh, I wasn't even there. That's the alibi. But he's not even orchestrating the crime that we're seeing right now against President Trump and the American people. You know who's doing it? Obama. Look at this. And you see the press over there trying to ask you questions. And what does he do? He just walks past him. He waves just a little bit because he doesn't want to take any questions. He don't want to take any questions, and he just walking, trying not to fall down. Y'all see that? Y'all notice that? He's like watching his step, trying not to fall down, completely ignores the press, has nothing for them, don't want to say anything at all. Like, I don't have nothing to say to you. I'm just going to walk past you, get on Marine One, go get on Air Force One, fly to my vacation. And he's going to the Truckee, right? He's going to the Truckee.
Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe. Sorry, he's going to Lake Tahoe. How long is he going to be in Lake Tahoe, Shannon? Do you know?
A week.
He's going to be there for a week.
Yep.
So so what is that? 3/4 of a month?
And by the way, he had a 10-day vacation, but then he went back the following weekend. He was in DC for a couple days. He went back to the beach. We saw him on the beach. I wouldn't call him a whale, but he was a snail or a snake on the beach. And then to Lake Tahoe.
I would say he was more of a snail, and then Mitch McConnell was hanging out because the turtle came up on the shore.
That he would go down the Truckee and maybe hit the rapids a little too hard.
Are you wishing ill will on this old man?
Well,
He's an
I
idiot.
want him to have a good time.
You want to have a good time?
Have a good time.
A memorable time.
Yeah,
How about that?
I've been down the Truckee. It is fun.
A memorable time. Well,
Yeah,
this is Lake Tahoe.
time.
Have you been down to Lake Tahoe?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the Truckee?
The Truckee is there.
Okay. The Truckee is there in Lake Tahoe. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, how many of y'all, can we put the comments on the screen real quick? How many of y'all see Republicans flipping on President Trump? That's really the gist of tonight. How many of y'all see Republicans flipping on President Trump? Right? Because there are some RINO Republicans constantly getting out there, Mitch McConnell being one of them. Right? Mitch McConnell. Wouldn't surprise me if Lindsey Graham start coming out the mix, because where are these Republicans? Where are the prominent Republicans? Where is McCarthy? Shannon, have you heard anything from McCarthy today?
Not today.
I mean,
no.
Really, the only person I saw that said anything about what's going on was Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
She's the only one that I've seen post anything about it as a predominant Republican in the Republican Party. With the rest of them, it seems they seem a little eerie silent.
Yeah.
Why is that, everybody?
I know they're not in session, but come on.
Why is that? You mean they don't have access to a cell phone where they can get on and make a tweet about something?
Yeah, pick up your phone and do a video and let people know that we're not going to take this sitting down. I mean, come on.
They don't have a cell phone where they can't do anything, computer access and nothing?
You know what? Let me see. Did McCarthy tweet something?
I'm just kind of curious. I mean, I haven't seen anything, right? I haven't seen anything, but I've been working, so I haven't been able to go look at McCarthy directly. But let me share this with you. Let me share this ex-lieutenant governor of Georgia. And he's a Republican, or he's a Republican in name only, a.k.a. a RINO. And he's probably butthurt. More likely because President Trump didn't endorse him. He didn't win. He's the ex-lieutenant governor. There's a reason why he's the ex-lieutenant Republican governor. He was a RINO then, and he's a RINO now. And I want y'all to listen to this because this is what the left wants to hear from the Republican Party.
So, wow, before you play this.
Okay.
He has not commented on his Twitter page. He did.
McCarthy. You're talking about McCarthy.
Right, McCarthy. He did mark the second anniversary of Afghanistan.
But nothing about this tyrannical government going after President Trump.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. Yeah. Yep. You know what? If it was, Pelosi, the left, they would be on every single outlet. They would be, doing their rounds everywhere, condemning this. And here we are. When I say we, I'm talking about Republican Party, not you and me specifically, but they're like really silent. And you're right. It's eerie. Where is the madness?
Yes. Where's
the anger? Well, we're in madness, but where's the anger? Where's the outrage?
I don't know. It's like, why aren't they saying, why do I have to say something? And you know what? We're always talking about, maybe because they hear us. Maybe because they hear us saying, stop talking and start doing. And maybe that's the reason why. Maybe because so many people, maybe they're starting to get wind of saying, look, y'all doing all this talking, but nothing's happening. And now that we want them to talk, they don't say nothing.
Yeah. And you know what?
And now here's the opportunity to say something. They don't say nothing.
Yeah. Well, we've heard so many people today and last night after, you got the news, you did a video and in the feed, people are like, I'm just sick. I'm sick of this. And, that's the thing. They want us to be so sick of this that we want Trump to go away. But they don't realize that we realize who the problem is. We realize it's not Trump, it's them. Right?
It is them.
Because you even have Democrats now going, okay, this is enough. Right? Like enough is enough. These charges, we've heard many ex-attorney generals, lawyers coming out and saying, this is nothing. Of course, she exaggerates these charges to make them look horrible and terrible. But, in the indictment, she literally says that any of these actions were not overtly against the law. So saying literally none of them standing alone would be against the law. But she's saying since we wrap them up all together, we can bring charges up against them. And it's like, what?
I know.
What are you saying?
Yeah,
she said
well,
that
let's just put it all together here, and we'll make. You know what?
Now
they're taking a little mound, right? And they put little pebbles on it. They're all looking down on it, and they got all these pebbles. Up there's the crime.
Making a mound. All
of these because President Trump hurt my feelings. It's a crime.
And
that's what it is. No, come on, let's be realistic. President Trump hurt my feelings. That's the crime.
And we could play. Listen, anybody can go out there and find video after video after video of Democrats doing some of the things that she charges Trump with.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's be honest. So,
well, you know what? We're going to get to some of that.
Him.
We're going to get to some of that.
Yeah.
We're going to get to some of that because I actually have one that I want to play for everyone. And most people probably have already seen this, but I want to share this with you too. But let me play this RINO Republican. And this is the type of Republican the Democrats love. This is what they love. They want the establishment. Listen to this. If this dude doesn't tick you off, then you're a RINO yourself.
You said this was a pivot point for the country as you came out of the room. What do you hope your testimony accomplished?
Well, I hope my testimony gets the facts, as they are, and helps to continue to paint a real and honest picture. But politically speaking, this is a pivot point for this country to do something more than just stew on the 2020 election cycle, right? We're either going to, as Republicans, take our medicine and realize the election wasn't rigged. Donald Trump was the worst candidate ever in the history of the party, even worse than Herschel Walker. And now we're going to have to pivot from there, right? We want to win an election in 2024. It's going to have to be somebody other than Donald Trump if we do it. So politically speaking, this is an important pivot point for our party, right? To go focus on the things that matter, to take this conversation to America, not to Twitter, not to 10-second sound bites, not to YouTube clips. This is taking this to the kitchen table. I think most Americans care about the economy. I think most Americans care about a porous border. I think most Americans care about national security and public safety. These are issues that we win as Republicans. As long as we make this about the three-ring circus called Donald Trump, we're going to lose every time. And you don't have to go any further than Georgia to see that play out.
You hearing this? This dude is an idiot. This is the type of stupid Republican. And yes, I'm talking about stupid Republicans because they're out there. He's one of them. This is exactly the problem. You got stupid Republicans like this thinking that, we just got to remove President Trump. We got to remove President Trump, get him out the way, get President Trump, the element out the way. Then the Democrats will come to the table. The Democrats will want to get along with us. The Democrats will want to work with us then. Because as long as we have President Trump down there, on the ticket there, the country's going to be like this. Stupid Republicans. The Democrats are never, ever going to allow any Republican to be in the White House if it's up to them. They're never, ever. If the Democrats could prevent the Republicans from winning the House and the Senate, when they stack the Senate by turning Puerto Rico and D.C. into states, when they stack the Supreme Court, stupid Republicans. I can't stand it. That's, you know what? That is the worst type. He's not just change your party affiliation. Just change it. And see, that's why they're so upset, because right now, President Trump, the party belongs to President Trump. And regardless of how you feel about it, how you think about it. And I've talked to these people before, and they go, well, Mike Pence, maybe we should go with Mike Pence because we want to have all of this, with Mike Pence. Stupid people. It's like you making a deal with the devil. And he goes, well, you know what? Just get rid of Trump and then I won't do as much evil things, to you or to the country. It's like I don't understand it. I don't get it. Because think about this. You have crime going through the roof in the country. Have y'all seen the looting that's been going on? I mean, my goodness, it's lawlessness, the homelessness, San Francisco, all of these different blue cities and blue states. You're seeing the homelessness, the crime going through the roof. And this is because of the Democrats. And this idiot RINO Republican, freaking RINO, have the nerve, the audacity to say, well, we just need to get rid of Trump so all this will stop. He must be smoking some good. He must be smoking that potent stuff because he's losing his brain cells. See, this is the type of Republicans I want to talk to. I'd love to have a conversation with him. Tell me exactly how that's going to work out. Which Republican you think the Democrats would not do this to if it had the opportunity? Which one? Oh, Ron DeSantis, because he's establishment. Y'all want to bring the establishment in. We don't want the establishment. Why do you think so many people in America right now supporting President Donald J. Trump? Because they're sick of the establishment, bending over backwards for these Democrats. I don't want that. The American people don't want that. You don't want that. We know you don't want it. I know you don't want it. Because if that was the case, you'd be like, oh, Ron DeSantis. Or you'd be like, oh, my goodness, let's go with Nikki Haley. Or you go, Fat Christie, yes, let's get him a cookie. You would be doing that, but no one's doing that. Well, you got a couple of them like this idiot RINO. See, that ticks me off more than anything. See, I expect Democrats to be the way they are. I mean, that's just who they are. I expect it. But if you call yourself a RINO, if you call yourself a Republican, I expect you to actually have some morals and I expect you to have some sense. I expect you to have some sense, some common sense, rational thinking. I expect that. And I don't expect you to be weak in the need, no backbone. I want the Republican Party that President Trump brought back like the Lincoln Republican Party. And not the Lincoln Stinking Project. They're a bunch of RINOs too. I'm talking about Lincoln is the reason why we have the freedoms in the country, other than God, of course. God comes first. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Listen to this one. Let me get off my rant here. Let me share this with you. Listen to this, because what they're doing to President Trump is I mean, they're doing it to us. They're doing it to the American people. It's just stamp Trump.
In light of what's likely to happen?
I don't think you can forget about the TikTok that's happening in the courtroom. I think that says it all. The fact that we have people standing by and leaks to the press before I've even seen his indictment, before the indictments even come out, is exactly the problem that we have in this country at this moment. This is exactly what we need to fix in 2024, frankly. We have somebody who questioned the integrity of the election, questioned whether there was any problems with the election, which we've seen come out. There have been problems. And now he's being allegedly criminally charged. And the press is in a courtroom waiting, but his attorneys are sitting on Fox News with no knowledge. This is the problem with America right now. It's a politicization. And Fannie, by the way, on Thursday and Friday, updated her campaign website. Has anybody spoken about that? It's a ploy. It's election interference, and it's political lawfare. And I'm frankly just sick of it. It needs to end. This country cannot take it anymore.
Alina, as you're speaking on our screen, it appears paperwork is being walked from wherever the grand jury was convening and deciding over to the judge in the courtroom, presumably a clerk. Into that courtroom, at which point the judge can decide to read it aloud, and our viewers may be able to see it as well. What do you expect, Alina?
I think we know what we expect because they leaked it by accident because some clerk accidentally filed it a few hours ago. There's going to be counts. It's going to be RICO. We all know what it is because we have a leaky AG, prosecutor, and DAs in this country.
I mean, y'all hearing this? Are you hearing this? What? They leaked it. And of course, who gets it? The liberal media news. You know, of course they get it. They should throw this case out. They've already committed crimes doing this. It's all fraudulent to begin with. They're just so excited. Get Trump, indict Trump. That's what they're excited about. That's the reason why they're doing this. That's the reason why they're doing this. They're so excited, and they're trying to elevate their status within the demon crap party. That's what this is about. I mean, how many indictments does it take, right? How many electrical engineers does it take to put in one light bulb? And if it takes more than one, it's a bunch of idiots. See, they don't have anything. So they're like, just keep indicting them until something sticks. You know, it's just like the analogy I gave before. President Trump with a dead body, but there's no missing person report. There's no evidence, no murder weapon, nothing. Just keep looking until we find one. That's what this is.
This is ridiculous. The cameras are even watching this right now, frankly. I mean, it's unprofessional, it's unethical, and it's un-American.
It is unprecedented. We don't often get behind the scenes camera footage of the process inside a court. It makes it feel like it's almost part of the show.
It is part of the show. This is a show. It's a political show. Fannie, I can do TV too. It is not okay what you are doing. This is unacceptable. The fact that we have cameras and press sitting there, but I have not seen the indictment as his general counsel for Save America. I have no indictment yet in front of me. How is that possible, and how is that okay?
Excuse us.
When do you expect to see one? Will you find out when the rest of us do?
You know when I'll see it? When the New York Times or you guys send it to me. That's when I'll see it, because that's the way our country is operating these days. It's just a despicable situation. It really is. I have no words at this point. I have no words. This is the fourth indictment in months. It's political. It's election interference. And it is obvious. And if you're not awake yet, I don't really know what it's going to take for you. I really don't.
Again, if you're tuning in, we're watching images of the paperwork from the grand jury moved from one part of the courthouse into the judge. Just went up an elevator, presumably to that room you're seeing in the right-hand corner of your screen. What's the legal strategy here? How do you deal with this and four? I mean, it's historic. It's unprecedented. They're throwing the kitchen sink at their top political opponent right before an election. How do you manage all of that?
You manage it with the facts, which is the one thing that these grand juries do not have. The grand juries have select one-sided information, and they're always selected in states that are incredibly blue and incredibly anti-Trump. That is all on purpose. He is leading in the polls, and they are very afraid. And that is it. Yep. I've said it time and time again, and we're watching it. I cannot say that what I'm watching right now, as as everyone, all your viewers are watching, this is not America. We're not supposed to see an indictment before the indictment happens. The lawyers, the defendant shouldn't see it, while the press and the...
You know what? Yeah, they should not see it.
Right. And
so there's actually Ramaswamy put out a statement, right? He put out something on Twitter, right?
Yeah, I mean, he said that...
Let's put this up on... Can we put his tweet up on the screen? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, put it up there.
Yep. He said it's fair game for him to do the same in defense, immediately file a motion to dismiss for a constitutional due process violation for publicly issuing an indictment before the grand jury had actually signed one. He should make a strong argument on these grounds. That's what he said. And listen to this, Will. Right after it happened, because listen, the Georgia court knows that these were prematurely released, right? And they said this is so annoying. They said, they warned the media to not publicize this like this was an actual indictment that was put out there, right? They said that documents that do not bear an official case number, filing date, and name of the clerk of courts in concert are not considered official filings and should not be treated as such. Well, no, duh. That's the whole allegation, the whole problem. They're saying, listen, before this was actually made an indictment, it was leaked, you idiot. And she's sitting there going, well, don't say it was the actual indictment because it's not the actual indictment until they got the seal on it. That's the problem.
It should be thrown out.
I mean, my goodness.
It should be thrown out. I mean, this should be thrown out, but they did. You know what? Again, just like they leaked the information about the whole. Remember, Shannon, when they leaked the information about Roe versus Wade getting turned over?
Yep.
Remember they leaked that from the Supreme Court, and nothing.
They never
leaked before. And all, oh wow, they never found the person. Like they never found the person with the cocaine.
Exactly. You don't make it up.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's like right in our faces, and we're supposed to ignore it. Oh, don't worry about it. It's not even a big issue. Really? You know, people used to go to prison for stuff like that. People used to go to prison for taking cocaine into different locations. The White House of all places. But no, don't worry about it. You know what the biggest threat is? Trump. That's the biggest threat to them. You can't make it up. And you know what? Like I was telling y'all, they want Republicans to turn their backs on President Trump. How many of you are going to turn your back on President Trump? Put the comments on the screen for me. I'm just kind of curious. And so I'm looking in the comments here, and I want y'all to tell me, how many of y'all are going to turn your back on President Trump because of all of the lies that they're pushing? And it's just like I've been saying, you remember the Hollywood sex tape? The only reason why they showed that to get you to say, okay, well, you know, this is bad. I'm not going to support Trump. He said, grab it. I'm not going to support him. Right. So how many of y'all going to not support Trump after this fourth indictment? I'm just kind of curious. Right. So I'm looking at the comments here, and no one's saying they're going to stop supporting him. And you know what? Again, that becomes the problem for the left because they're saying that you're not going to stop supporting him. Will Johnson is going to say it publicly and say it loudly. I am voting for President Trump. You are not going to disenfranchise my vote. You're not going to. You can try to do it all day long. I'm voting for Trump. And you know what? With you indicting him 4 times like this, it makes me want to vote for him that much more. I mean, it's like President Trump right now, he actually can do an actual crime. And because of everything that y'all done to him, I'm going to vote Trump.
Yeah, and they're saying that.
Think about that. Think about that.
Yeah, they're saying that he's becoming more and more popular with the more time.
Every single time.
Because, you know what, Will? It's like a lie becomes so big that it becomes obvious. And that's what is happening now.
Well, they're kind of wanting the lie to be so big that it has to be true. And that they've done that before. 1984, they've done it so many times, right? 1984, that's what it's all about. Keep lying to people because the lie's so big, it has to be true. It's too big of a lie not to be true. But see, the American people are not buying it. The American people are not stupid. And they can't figure that out. I'm telling you, they can't figure it out. That's the reason why they're constantly doing what they're doing, because they want people to believe it. Like, listen to this one. Listen to this one on MSSTD. Literally, they think that we're going to cave on President Trump, and that's what they're wanting, and that's what they're pushing for.
Exactly. And the test for all of us is, are we up to obeying the rule of law, even when it goes away we may not like?
You see this? Now, again, they're talking about the rule of law. The left, they don't care about the rule of law. They're constantly saying no one is above the law. But look what they're doing. Turn our country to a banana republic. Are you kidding me?
Right. It's a fundamental question. And I think that arguably this is the most fraught and clear. There's nothing particularly unclear about the test the country's facing right now. A huge chunk of the country, a surprisingly large chunk of the country, at least surprising to me, will follow the now 4 times indicted former president to the edge of a cliff and possibly over that cliff. And the question is, do enough of those folks believe in the rule of law? Do they believe in the evidence of their own eyes? And let's just say of their own ears, because he's recorded.
Now, you know what this means, right? Look at the smirk on his face. I look like the Joker. You know what he's referring to, right? He's saying that Republicans, because of conservative Christian Republicans, and I talked about this last night, and it's really interesting that they're proving my point. For those of you that were tuning in last night, I said that they're doing this to President Trump because they know that conservative Republican Christians adhere to the law. They believe that they can fraudulently do this criminal activity using the law, and we will just go along with it because it's the law that's doing it. They're doing it in the court system. So basically, they do it in the court system instead of assassinating President Trump just out in the street somewhere. They'll just do it in the court system. They're even calling for the Espionage Act against President Trump. You know what that means, right? So they're even calling for that. And they said, well, it was done in the court system. They found him guilty. They found him guilty. You can't get mad with us. It's the court system, right? But the entire thing is corrupt. And they're doing this because they know that we follow the law. But they have corrupted the law.
I need to find these votes, right? And then you have...
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a criminal activity. That's not a criminal activity. It's really not. What he just said, President Trump said on the phone, there's nothing criminal about it. You can always say, find them. How do we find them? They got to be coming in from somewhere. Now, it's one thing if President Trump said, okay, you know what? Go ahead, just make some up and send them in. He said, find them, right? There's nothing criminal about that. Nothing criminal about that. But they're turning what they want to be against the law into basically, which is free speech. They're turning free speech into breaking the law.
This whole cast of characters who've been indicted now in Fulton County who were attempting, and I use this word very, very advisedly, right? I'm not just popping off here. This was a coup d'etat. This was an attempt to seize power that was not legitimately granted by the electoral processes of the Constitution of the United States.
Okay, now, Question is he talking about November of 2020? Think about that, everybody. You notice they don't ever talk about what happened then. They don't ever want to bring up what happened then. It's, oh, that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. They want to talk about what happened afterwards, because to them, nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong. If you think something was wrong, then something's wrong with you. Don't even question it. And that's why they're going after President Trump. Get him off the screen. That's why they're going after President Trump, because he questioned. But to sum all this up, this guy right here, he actually brings it to home. My producer, she just found this video with this young man, and he's Asian, right? He's Asian. He's not supposed to like Trump, right? Not according to the left. Nor am I, right? I'm not supposed to like Trump according to the left. But he explains it, exactly what's happening, to a T. And it's very good. Listen.
Trump has been indicted in Georgia. For the last 14 years, I've called Georgia home. I have my business here, got married here. My daughter was born in Fulton County. I've been all over the world in most major U.S. cities. If I could live anywhere, I would stay right here in Georgia. To me, Georgia is the best place in the world, where people still say, yes, ma'am, and thank you, sir, where even the liberals go to church on Sundays. And to see the establishment drama brought to my doorsteps, the globalist socialist chaos brought to our community. Last night, when I watched the Fulton County DA smirk while she indicted former President Donald Trump along 18 others on RICO charges like they are part of the Sopranos, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty pissed. And then I read all 96 pages of the indictments. There is nothing in there to get anyone. The DA specifically said that the overt acts listed are not illegal on their own, but because there are enough of them, they can be charged as a criminal enterprise. What do these overt acts include? Questioning the outcome of the 2020 election, for making false statements about the integrity of the election in other states, for asking for email addresses of public officials and sending emails, for hiring forensic data teams to review election results, for requesting hearings to challenge the results, for unnamed people sending emails, and most importantly, mean tweets. This trial goes nowhere, and they know it. So why all the drama? And why was I so upset? It's not because of the charges. The charges are bullshit. It's because I could see their plan, and I could feel it working. You gotta see the big picture. The play is always geopolitics, always control. The globalist socialist establishment has already conquered LA, San Francisco, Seattle, and Chicago. Where are the Trump indictments? They're trying to take New York, Virginia, Miami, and now Atlanta. Notice they are not indicting him in areas they've already won. It's a squeeze play. Can you see the map? The point of these indictments is not to prevent Trump from running for president. Of all the indictments and charges, none of them can prevent him from running. It's not even about preventing him from winning. They see that the poll numbers jump every time an indictment is announced. If they truly believe that Trump was plotting to overthrow the U.S. government, they would focus all of their energy, resources, and personnel on one case and try to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. You don't indict in multiple states with multiple charges with multiple teams of lawyers. You don't spray and pray. The sole point of the indictments is to divide this country, to keep us occupied fighting each other. Republican versus Democrat, man versus woman, black versus white versus brown versus yellow, poor versus less poor. Don't get distracted. It's not us versus each other. It's us versus them. They're not trying to save democracy. They're trying to crush it. If you're watching from Georgia, if you are my neighbor, beware. Look at what they've done in other cities, other states. Homelessness, drugs, and violence. Burning it all down so they can build it back up and gain control. The talking head propagandists will surely plaster the news cycle. This time, we got him. What they really mean is, this time, we got you.
So spot on. This time, we got you, the American people. You know, I did a video earlier It was a lot earlier. And I was just saying, you know what? They're doing this to us. They're doing this to the American people. And more, I'm pretty sure everyone that's tuning in right now, you all see it too. You don't need Will Johnson to confirm it for you, to tell you, because you already know. Okay. We're going to stop it here because I want to share some other stuff with you. We're going to flip it over. So I want everyone right now to go to my Rumble page. But I'm going to say thank you to a couple people before we go over to Rumble page, because there's some stuff that I want to share with you that I can't share with you here. So let's do this now. Go to rumble.com/Will Johnson /live. And just like you see it down there, UAF.media down at the bottom, go ahead and go there and you can go Rumble Live and you get right there.
Yeah, as always, we thank everybody for their support. It means so much, especially in this time and age when, it's hard to get out there, and these platforms really, stifle our reach. So on Facebook, I'd like to thank Jody, Chuck, Ann, Wendy, Julie, Kathy, and Rodney. And if you feel uncomfortable donating on the platforms, you can always go to our website, uniteamericafirst.com/donate. And there's all the ways to donate: Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, everything. Also want to thank on YouTube, Marijuana Community. That's a setup. No, just kidding. Thank you very much for your support. All right. And now we're going to go over to Rumble for all of you stopping here. Thank you very much. God bless. And we will see you tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Come on over to Rumble, though. Come on over. Y'all going to want to see this. You're not going to want to miss this. I got something about Obama. All right. We'll see you over there.
Okay. Good to go.
We're good to go.